wrap up the podcast and go into our third and final subject, which is something I'm kind of excited about. You're probably moderately excited about, but today was the first Watchtower stream that Injustice did from NetherRealm Studios. Where they showed off Robin, new Robin. This is Damien, which is kind of like a cool story dynamic. Yep. So dropped a couple bombs. So, of course, they confirmed what we all expected, that it was going to be GGPO right out of the gate.
So GGPO, for if you're uninitiated, as Adam Ronin typically says, that is the Good Game Peace Out engine that is used for online netcode. It was a vast improvement over what they used in the vanilla launch of MKX, and it's beyond playable now. So now it's like up there. It's a standard for what you'd want to use.
Oh, yeah. There was no way that they could go back to their initial thing, or they would be the laughing stock of gaming in history. So that's no surprise. They announced that. We all knew the beta was coming, and that's cool. But what they did announce was, as soon as the stream was over,
check your emails.
Beta codes were going out. Beta starts today.
Let me see if I got one. I'm going to check and see if I got one. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to go.
Yep.
Did you get one? Let's see if you got one.
What if we did, though?
Let's, you know what? I did not get one.
I didn't get one either.
Nope.
Do you think it's because we're not huge competitors in the NRS community?
I think that is the reason why.
Yeah. So it looks like, like the big names like Sonic Fox, Pig of the Hut, all those big guys, they've all got codes immediately. They were probably like privately handed codes from the team, I would assume. No surprise. We kind of expect that.
I mean, it comes with all the salt. You check Twitter and everybody's like, the MVPs got it, the VIPs got it, and I get salty about it too. But it is what it is. It's just those are the guys that represent that game.
They're not the only ones. I was on the Injustice subreddit on Reddit, and there is just a bunch of regular old Joes that got codes.
Yeah, there were random codes that were.
So it wasn't just them, but it wasn't these guys.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, if I'm trying to collect feedback, I want those guys to give me the feedback, because they're the ones who are going to devote a couple thousand hours to this over the next year.
You're totally right.
They're the ones who are going to generate more money for me than anybody else.
Yep.
Especially Sonic Fox. He's like, he goes right to the top of the list. You get the beta. Go. Yeah. So I'm okay with it. As long as other randoms got it, and they did. They just didn't make noise about it on Twitter.
Exactly. And you know what? It's totally fine. So they announced that they kind of went over some of the gear system a little bit today, which is the biggest selling point for me, because you know how I feel about loot boxes.
I need to go back and watch it. I missed all the stuff that they were talking about.
Yeah,
tried to catch
it was a pretty short stream. So
it was super quick.
You could watch it, while you're eating a pizza or something. Yeah. You know what? The game just looks just fundamentally solid. And then after the codes went out and people were playing it, I watched some on Twitch.
If we can go back to something that upsets me really quick, why do you assume I'm just going to eat a whole pizza?
This isn't my first DJ combo.
I'm going to eat the whole thing.
But the netcode out of the gate, first of all, day one, first hour of beta, public release of a beta, people were getting into matches instantaneously. People were experiencing zero lag. That's awesome to me. That's a very impressive, structure right there.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, it's exactly what it should be.
And it's, something that other games currently lack.
Yeah. It's true.
Other games that are in the same market, other games that share a portion of that market share.
Yeah, Killer Instinct had a flawless launch with their netcode, and they've really never had any problems. A couple hiccups here and there, like average games, but that's always been good.
Online. There's going to be times there's a hiccup.
Yeah,
nothing will ever be flawless. It can't happen.
No, absolutely not.
But you can expect to actually get to legitimately play the game.
Yeah, and people are going crazy at it. And I think we're going to get codes. They weren't real specific on how long the beta is going for. The game doesn't come out till May, so I'm actually surprised that the beta is out now. I think it's going to be a month-long beta, from what I'm reading.
That 2-year development cycle for them gives them the ability to really get a head start on this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I'm sure they probably started it with their team, the second MK.
Well, I can guarantee you that they're working on MK11 right now. They probably have a small team set off aside that's already hard at work. So I think we'll probably get, because they did, said that not everyone's getting a code tonight. It's going to roll out over the next few days. So I bet we get a code. So I'm really excited to get in there and try it out.
Do you remember the MKXL betas that they did?
Oh, yeah, I think I do.
I remember I got one of those first wave.
Right? You did?
Yeah, I was like the second they came out, I was the first guy to get it.
We were stoked.
And I jumped in, I started playing, and I was like, at the time, I was already pretty salty with the game, and I was kind of looking for Street Fighter in the horizon. And I jumped on and I played, and I was like, it's really good. I was like, they made a lot of adjustments. It's exactly what you needed. But there was a lot of salt thrown at me because I was one of those MVPs who got one of those codes. Right?
Oh, my God. So much salt.
And we laughed about it. We laughed
about it. It is what it is. Right? Some people just aren't cool.
But the funny thing is, the same people got the codes.
Like 4 days later.
Day later. Yeah, like they actually do legitimately roll these things out.
Yeah.
So they're probably it's a stress test as well of like, okay, we've got 50 people, and they look at the board and they're like,
good to go. Let's add another 50.
Yep.
Yeah.
100 people, check. 200. And they're like, and then they can start to, extrapolate those numbers and say, like, listen, I think if we put, 40,000 people on these servers at one time, I think we could handle it. And that's when their team's going to be like, we're ready to launch. Like, that's fine. Now we can, there's other teams polishing characters and animations and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Right along with it.
One thing I want to say about, and that I think that NRS it doesn't get enough praise for, that I just think that they're fantastic at, is every release. They got MK9, they got Injustice, MKX, now Injustice 2. Every game is like 100% visually stunning than the last, more so. I think this game just looks gorgeous.
Oh, dude, if you hold up like MK9 to XL right now, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is last gen.
Yeah, and if you look up XL compared to Injustice 2, I think Injustice 2 is just gorgeous. I think it's just one of the best looking games out there right now.
Right. And keep in mind, you're looking at beta footage and stuff, so there's going to be more shadows and details added to that down the road.
But they were like talking about that with the gear system. There's like like we were talking about before, you can just thousands of things you can do to change your person
to make it a little bit more your own.
Completely. And they were showing like you could unlock moves in your gear system to replace other moves in your moveset. So you can customize like the stuff that your character does, not just the way he looks. And it will affect gameplay, and characters will be OP. Some,
Yeah, but in my opinion, that's no different than me using full auto Jackie and you're using shotgun, right?
Yeah, I think that was like a very primitive like idea, school of thought of like, can we add different forms of
exactly,
and that this is just like the full blown experimentation.
And I think it's just a really cool element to get to swap those things and be like, man, if I had her stun reset in shotgun in my full auto, what could I do? You now might have that ability to be like, I don't use this up rocket ever. I can swap those two and then get my own creative resets that way. So I'm still here. So like in competitive play, it's not going to be there.
No, Ed Boon was on stream today, and he's that was one of the questions asked, is like, how will the gear system affect tournament play?
Right.
And he said they're going to have a separate tournament mode, vanilla characters as it should be, and like stuff at Evo, like this
I would love
stuff
to see,
won't be allowed,
and I hope that's an online mode as well. I would love to see.
It's going to be,
just like tournament mode online. You go in there and it's just vanilla characters.
Yeah, it's going to be. So you'll have your choice, and so you can play. I think it's kind of like if you were to play your gear system characters, it's kind of similar to if you played that mode that's in MKX where you can add all the modifiers that make shit all weird, exploding stuff. Yeah. It's like that's there, and you can play that online with your friends, and it's there to have fun with, but it's not a competitive thing. So you can create like this crazy Batman that's just like mega OP and like like 60% damage or some killer instinct type shit. But that won't be allowed in tournament play, which I think
unless you specifically create a tournament for that play. ESL. ESL could do that in a heartbeat.
If they had a mode, a way of being able to transport your custom characters like in a server, and so like you sat down and you type in your gamer tag and a password and your character loaded in and you could play these at like tournaments, I think it would be super cool because then it's really like who's got the fucking best Batman, you know?
But I mean, like for now, you could do it online easily enough, if
for sure.
So on like Monday they have Combat Cup or whatever, and then on Thursday they do like Combat Cup EX edition or something like that, and then like they have like the crazy characters on that day. So that'd be cool. I like that dynamic. It's gonna be fun. It's just like shooters, changing the camouflage in your gun, or I want to use this attachment instead of, and I want to use this scope, I want to use this perk, I want to use this ability.
I don't know if they talked about this before, but it was new to me today. When you're selecting a character, you select loadouts. So each character you can have up to 5 different loadouts. So you have like this Batman, and this Batman's got all these different moves and costumes. So it's like it's very FPS.
Yeah, it's probably going to sound like I'm just spitting hatred at Street Fighter, but some of this is just more of just reiterating, whether it's my own personal belief or not, is irrelevant. But something Street Fighter has been accused of is that the game, no matter who is playing it currently, feels like you can't see any kind of artistic representation of the player. You know exactly what like Ryu versus Mika is going to look like the second the match starts, and there's no creativity with the combos.
Customization is such a huge thing.
This is giving somebody the ability to like really like put themselves into it, as opposed to like, okay, I'm going to jump in this medium kick, fireball,
crush counter.
Yeah, exactly. That exchange kind of goes away, and now it's like you're gonna jump online. Imagine they've got a mode with all these crazy things in there, and you jump online. I have no idea what that Supergirl has until we find out about 2 seconds from now.
So cool.
Yeah, and like
I
maybe
feel
like if they've got projectiles or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'm staying back. And like they don't projectile at all, and all of a sudden she runs in with a command grab, and I'm like, come on!
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I think this is going to be really fresh for like 3 or 4 months. So you're going to be seeing like new shit. You're like, oh crap, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to have seen every little combination in the book. Eventually,
shout outs to the NRS community for all their combo videos where it's like, oh my god, you've been doing that 44%, let me show you this 45. Because like they found one little adjustment to it to crank out this much more. So those videos are going to be endless where you're like, if you're a Supergirl main, you're going to just watch combo videos all night long of like, listen, if you replace this with this with this, and this with this, you can make that 47 into a 48 one bar, and everybody's gonna be like, I'm gonna be the best in the world. Love the creativity out of it.
Totally. And I think we're going to get into the beta here probably in the next week or so. I bet we'll probably be into it. And one thing I'd like to say is, we did kind of like an experimentation stream the other night where we wanted to play some games and just see if we had an audience there. And a lot of people showed up, and I'm still getting comments to this day. They're like, "Oh, your stream the other night was awesome. Do that more." So I think it'd be really interesting if we start streaming more content that you guys are invested in, and that is fighting games. And we played Killer Instinct the other night. It was really fun. So I think that you can expect that once we get into that beta, Tim and I'll probably lab and just stream the Injustice 2 beta just for funsies.
Well, if either of us gets access to it, or if somebody sends us a code, I'd be more than happy to stream it. That'd be fun. That'd be just a ton of fun to get everybody in there and get after it.
I imagine you all probably, if you got your code, you've installed it. But if you have extra codes, we would, either PlayStation or Xbox, we would love to take them off your hands so we could give it a try and give you feedback on it and talk about it. But if we get our own, we'll play it then.
Absolutely.
But I think that probably will wrap up the old episode 4 of the Ronin Dojo. Tim, do you have any words?
Guys, this is a discussion. Everything we do is a discussion. We give opinions. Sometimes we give facts on things that are dropped, but we like to hear what you guys have to say. And we have Twitters for those things, and we've got the comments in all of these videos. And
you could be listening to this as a podcast. Now, one thing I'd like to say, and I'll announce this tomorrow when you already know, but podcasts are now available on iTunes for iOS, or if you're on Android, you can access those on the Stitcher app, which is like their big podcast app. So we're on all platforms now if you want to listen to the audio versions. If not, you know where to find us on YouTube.
And we'll be back at you with more videos, so make sure that you subscribe so you can see these and fight sticks and shorts and something mind-blowing that'll be coming mid-year.
You guys don't even know what we're doing. I just want to
Yeah, you want a spoiler? You're not going to get one. Come back later. Yeah, no spoilers here.
Anyway, thanks for watching / listening. Guys, fight games. They're a thing. And we like them. And we like you. Let me see your nips. Bust them out. That's no! Okay.